Hi, this is Dr. Merlin, homeopathic physician. Today we'll discuss about cough. So everyone has faced cough. Do you know why it comes, how it comes? So we'll give a few information about it, okay? So cough is a sensory stimulation to our mucous membrane in the pharynx, trachea and the bronchus. So when there is a stimulation, could be due to the irritation, inflammation, then the cough comes. So the cough can be mucousy, okay, mucus, or second it can be purulent. Purulent means pus, so it is yellowish in color, or it can be mucopurulent, that means whitish yellowish mix, or it can be frothy. Frothy, usually we tell it is a spit-like, saliva-like, okay, frothy type. So these are the kind of cough or the expectoration. So we'll go one by one, okay. We will see in a specific area how the cough comes and what is the type of the cough. We will discuss about it. So first we'll come about the pharynx. So what is the pharynx? It's in the upper part, okay. So here the cough, what we usually see is a postnasal drip. So when there is an upper respiratory tract infection, the mucus goes and sits in the throat, okay, in the pharynx. So this is a persistent type of cough, mucus type of cough and watery type of cough. So it is a postnasal drip. So here what medications we are giving? Usually we give, okay, it's a postnasal, so it's in the upper respiratory tract. So calcarea carb, okay, where it's the thick mucus, and when it becomes purulent or mucopurulent, then we go as calibicromium. And if it's due to the allergic rhinitis, where it is a very mucus type or watery type of discharge, or coryza, what we tell, we give Allium cepa, we give Eucrasia, we give Arsenicum album. Okay, so this is about the pharynx or the upper respiratory tract infection till the pharynx. Now we come about the larynx. Okay, so in larynx what happens? When there is an inflammation in the larynx, okay, the laryngitis what we call, there is a different type of cough. So here it is mainly the dry cough and very barking type, or sometimes you can tell like a machine gun, like it's so hoarse. Okay, the cough is so hoarse. So what are the medication we give over here? Okay, initially when it is just started, initial stage, Aconite is the best medication. 1 ml, 1 dose enough. If it is not better by 12 hours, then Aconite will not help. Then you have to go to the Causticum. So Causticum we can give it for 2 to 3 days. Okay, again for the dry cough and the larynx type of cough. And still the barking cough is there and it's prolonged to the 1 week or 15 days. Then comes into the action Spongia. Spongia, Heparsal, Rumex, Drosera and Corolium. So initially no one comes for cough, no one visits the doctor, they do home remedy. So the action of Aconite, usually I don't get to see the patient. I usually see the cough when it is prolonged. Could be 7 days or 15 days. So usually my patients are of Heparsal, Spongia, Rumex, Drosera, and very rarely it is Corolium, where the cough is like a machine gun. It's very severe, very hoarse. Okay, then we'll come into the bronchitis, the trachea. Okay, the trachea. So ocularynx is the trachea. So here what happened, there is an inflammation in the trachea and there is a cough. So the cough here is very painful. It's usually dry and painful. Okay, similar like the laryngitis. So in trachea, what we do, usually give, it's again the dry. So we give bronchitis because it's the painful type. Along with that, we can also give the similar medication like Spongia, Heparsal and Corolium as well. So then we'll go into the bronchus. So when there is inflammation in our bronchus, the tree-like structure in our lungs, so what happens over here? It's again the dry or productive type of cough. Okay, it can be either dry or it can be the productive. So it can be because of bronchitis, it can be about the COPD, it can be about the asthma, or it can be a carcinoma of the bronchus as well. So usually in bronchitis what happens, it's a dry to mucus, but it's mainly seen in the morning. The cough is mainly seen in the morning. But in asthma, it's again same type of cough. It can be dry or it can be mucus, but it is seen in the night. So for bronchitis, when the cough is persistent more than 4 to 6 months, okay, we call as bronchitis, and if more than 6 months, then we call as asthma. In bronchitis, what type of medication we can give? So it's mainly Spongia, it's mainly Pulsatilla and Carbamazepine. And when we come to the asthma, it will be Arsenicum album, Antin-Tat. Antin-Tat is a very good medication for asthma as well, where the mucus is so much in the lungs, we tell it's sinking, the lung is sinking in the mucus. Okay, that type of cough usually, and in that it helps to expectorate outside. Okay, and then Epicat, Drosera. So I talked about asthma in my channel previously. You can go and visit over there. And then bronchial cell. Okay, carcinoma of the bronchus. So here what happens? Usually the cough is continuous, persistent, more than 6 months, more than a year. So you have to think about the carcinoma when it is prolonged. And the typical thing in carcinoma is a blood. Okay, so in your sputum, it can be the blood can appear. Okay? So this is a bronchial carcinoma. And when we talk about the larynx also, carcinoma can set in over there as well. So there what happens, usually dry, barking, painful type. Again the cough can be with the sputum with blood mixed. Okay, this is in the larynx as well. Now we'll come to the parenchyma. Parenchyma is the lung tissue. Inside the lung tissue, when there is a problem, then also cough can come. So it's mainly seen a tissue related cough. So it can be tuberculosis. So in tuberculosis also you can see a prolonged cough, could be 6 months or 8 months. Okay, but in tuberculosis what happens? You have a evening fevers, especially about evenings, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Usually there is a rising temperature. That is how you can distinguish between carcinoma and tuberculosis. In carcinoma also you have loss of weight, you have persistent cough. Okay, in tuberculosis also you have, but in tuberculosis there is a fever, increasing fever, and the mucus what you come. Okay, it can be purulent, and you can see small pieces of bits. Okay, that is also called as tuberculosis cough. And I will not discuss about the medicines because these are the tissue related diseases. So we have to go very detailed. Okay, not just giving the first aid remedy. Okay, next will come about the pneumonia. So pneumonia, what happens is mainly seen in the kids whose immunity is very low, or in the adults as well whose immunity is very low. And here it can be initially dry cough and then goes into the productive cough. Okay, and then we have bronchiectasis, we have interstitial fibrosis. So this fibrosis is mainly seen, I've seen mainly after COVID. Okay, so what happens after COVID, since their lungs have been collapsed, okay, there is a fibrosis, they're not able to breathe because the part of the lungs is now in which was air filled has become a heart. Okay, like a liver type, hepatitis what they can call, or the fibrosis what they can call. Okay, so here what happens, they have difficulty to breathing, they're not getting enough of oxygen, the saturation level is fallen, it could be 60s, 70s, 80s. Okay, so they have to take the external support for the oxygen as well. Okay, so these all are the tissue related cough problems. Now, I just discuss about pollution of the because mainly from 2-3 months I've seen lot of patients with common cold, cough and pollution oriented cough also. So pollution is directly again causing respiratory problems. Who already have asthma, it's getting triggered over there. Bronchitis, okay, bronchitis, the inflammation in the bronchus is increasing and causing cough. So here, as we discussed, so Hepar-sulf, Pulsatilla, okay. So even in Hepar-sulf and Pulsatilla, what happens? The cough is very similar, mucopurulent, okay, and there is a pain in the throat. And usually after taking Hepar-sulf for 2-3 days, all the mucus what is there will come out, and then in the last day they also vomit, 1-2 times they vomit. So this is the condition of Hepar-sulf and Pulsatilla. And pneumonia is seen in kids due to pollution because the immunity is low, they're exposed to it. And then I've seen many cases of pneumonia in this environment currently. Okay, and the other two things also which I want to bring in notice when I talk about cough, because of the pollution in the North India currently, many people are wearing masks for hours together. So I have seen mask related problems now. So there is the acne because they are using masks. Acne, especially this area, butterfly area, okay, the chin and the cheek area, okay, and at the nasal. So because of the clogged pores, acne was seen, okay, and due to the tightness also, they have having the breathing difficulty. I've seen dermatitis which is causing, especially at this areas, and generalized itching. So this is because of the mask, prolonged usage of mask, they are having the side effect. And since about pollution, I'm talking two things I also want to highlight. Especially in 2-3 months, most of my patients are telling about high cholesterol, high triglyceride, obesity, okay, which is causing problems because they're not going for a walk, they're locked inside the room. Okay, so the compromise in their day-to-day activities and lifestyle. So focus on that indoors as well. Okay, do walking or exercise inside, indoors as well. Okay, so this is what I would like to tell. So if you like my channel, you can subscribe it. Okay, and click a like button and